I was looking at for different solutions, for school shooting being one of the most latest things that happen. And, people want some solutions, obviously, stuff like gun control. I was thinking, along the lines of security, obviously having cops in front of a school would be useful because it would deter anybody from just trying to walk up to the school with weapons. At least if the cop hears some shooting, they could respond. But I noticed there's a awkwardness going on in society where cops are not putting themselves in harm's way like they used to, even though we literally equip them with body armor and guns, and if I'm right, their vehicles should be bulletproof, or at least have plexiglass, which are bullet resistant. So there's that. So there's such thing as riot shields, which also should be made of plexiglass or something stronger, Kevlar, for example. So the likelihood of them, surviving these life or death situations are much higher than if they didn't have that equipment. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, so I was thinking of ways to create some form of active shooter or a school shooter, or just in general, just some form of security or some type of system or concept that can help against somebody or multiple people with weapons going into a certain area, like a school. So I found some interesting stuff on Amazon that conceptually are similar to what I was thinking of. Let me play a video here. That one's decent, but it was this one. This one's a good one. Let me turn off the audio. Let me zoom in real quick so you can see it better. So what I like about this video is that it shows that a small device that you can buy on Amazon for $50 can fill up a room, like a living room, for example, with a lot of fog. You'll see them turn around and you're going to see lots more. So see how very foggy it is. You can still see some stuff like chairs and stuff, but the main thing is that it's extremely foggy, right? It's a fogger. That's the whole point. Now imagine, and it has a remote, so it's remote control. So there's a video here, see where it's remote control. You push a button, you can control the different settings of it. So there's some videos that at least showcase it in action. And again, not that bad for a $50 item. So I was thinking, like, you could use this, like, obviously you can use this in a classroom, just quickly fog up the classroom, but you want to use this mainly in the hallways because you want to make it harder for an active shooter to be able to see their way through the hallways and get to certain locations. I originally had the idea of, like, some people are talking about give teachers guns. No, let's not do that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're kind of counting on the teacher to put themselves in harm's way to deal with a dangerous threat. And we having issues with cops putting themselves in danger. So I'm seeing the pattern of people not wanting to put themselves in danger. Fair enough. You don't want to become a victim. I get it. But if you're capable and trained to handle the situation, like myself, it's not a problem putting yourself in danger because you're not really in danger. You're danger, right? You're danger to the person who's causing danger, but that's for a different conversation. So since I can't get everybody trained up to be a badass to handle dangerous situations, all right, let's use technology to solve the problem. So one of the things that allows the active shooter, to be able to, do what they do other than having a gun. Obviously, taking away guns is becoming an issue. Is an issue, and apparently that's hard to do. So okay, so we can't take the guns away, right? So let's make it harder for the shooter to shoot the gun, right? To be able to see something to shoot, right? So obviously, students should stay in the classrooms. The doors should be locked and secure, preferably with like deadbolts and stuff like that, like how you have in your house. So that would be hard for a active shooter to kick down the door or even to try to shoot the lock off, right? To make their way in, depending on what kind of weapon they have. More likely they have a high caliber weapon that's all automatic. But anyway, so they're gonna go through the hallways to try to go wherever they want to go. So I had the idea with obviously the smoke grenades, but the thing is that one, it's hard to find smoke grenades on Amazon for one thing, but secondarily is the fact, and I did like the idea of it being tear gas per se, but it could be a little bit, tear gas might be too strong of an idea, but we'll get back to that later. So I was like, okay, smoke grenade at least, because what if the active shooter has a gas mask? So tear gas would be pointless, right? So then it's like, okay, well, we want to slow them down and make it hard for them to shoot anybody, mainly until the cops get there, right? Hopefully SWAT and whatnot. Hopefully SWAT does their job. They're trained to go in and deal with hostile, life or death situations. So we need to give them some time. So I was thinking like, okay, smoke grenades are useful, decent, but they might be pretty expensive, as well as they might be. This is the fact that it's like you gotta. Well, the main things for me is expensive. I still think it's a good idea. It's an idea. Arming a teacher with a grenade that they can, try to grab and use real quick. And all I have to do is throw it in the hallways, right? Close the door, lock it, and stay away from the doors. Have the kids and whatnot stay away from the doors in case the shooter decides to shoot through the door. Obviously, you want to stay away from doors. And hopefully the smoke will slow them down enough to give proper authority enough time to get there and, handle the situation. Hopefully rush in and take down the suspect, right? So this, fogger machine, has some potential. You saw how much smoke it did, and you just needed to do what it's doing good enough. And the fact that it's remote control, that means you can just put it in the hallway, lock the door, and while in the hallway, push the button and activate it, and it'll fog up the hallway. And if you have a couple of these out in the hallways of classrooms, just spewing the smoke, it'll fill up, a hallway really quick and make it extra thick of the fog, making it really, really hard for an intruder to get in. Maybe some of the fog will come into the classroom, maybe fog up the classroom a little bit. So even if a shooter gets into the classrooms, hopefully not, but if they do, their vision will be a little bit impaired. Hopefully somebody will do something right in that scenario. Another thing I found was this, apparently it's a pepper spray alarm system. So basically I think it's motion activated. So there's a remote, so you trigger the remote, leave your the area, like a room or something. This will obviously be something you want to put in a hallway, like I was saying, and then turn it on, right, with a remote to be able to trigger. And if anything gets close, like this could be put outside the doorway of the classroom or next to the doorway of the classroom, and the teachers can trigger it, right, during an active shooter scenario. And if the shooter comes down the hallway, every time they pass by, these things will trigger and spray them with pepper spray. And if they're not wearing any type of gas mask type situation to prevent this from working, then it will work. But if they're more prepared, then it's not as viable. But that's why I had a secondary idea of the fogger, because even if they're wearing a gas mask, the fogger will fog up their mask, right, making it hard for them to see. And if they can't see, they can't do anything, right? They can't really react. They can't do much. So it's just an idea. I have tons of other ideas, but so far these are a little bit plausible. And as you can see, you can purchase these on Amazon. So these could be some possibilities, some budget options for security for schools. That's the end of the video.